Good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's time for another turntable. Oh, goody. Hopper, we get to work on a turntable today. This is a fully automatic stereo turntable, Pioneer, direct drive, DC servo. This is a model PL670. Not a whole lot of buttons and whistles on this one. We just have our cueing, our arm up and down, our speed, 33 and 45, and our start and stop. And looky there, we have good hinges and a good dust cover. But we have a dirty, nasty looking turntable. Everything looks, everything's here. We got our little adapter for our 45s. Like I said, dust cover is good. A little scratched, but it'll clean up all right. Hinges are good. Nothing's broke up there. And everything looks pretty good so far on it. And from what I can gather and what I can find, this the PL670 is like around, I think, 85 to 87, somewhere in that range. Let's see, 85. Let's see if we can find if they tell us when they introduced the PL series. In the 80s here, we got, let's see, 81 LD player for home use and 70 LD software titles in Japan. LD karaoke system, CD player, 84 LD combination player and CD and LDs. 84 released the world's first car CD player. 85 40-inch projection, and then 89 Laserdisc. So I'm thinking, we have CD players already in 82, so it could be even older. Laserdisc, 79 using Laserdisc player. Pioneer was always pretty much ahead of their time too, and ahead of everybody else. Was founded in 1938 in Tokyo by Nozomu Matsumoto as a radio and speaker repair shop, and Pioneer played a role in the development of interactive cable TV and Laserdisc players and the first automotive compact disc player. The first detachable face car stereo was by Pioneer. Let's see, Super Tuner technology, DVD and DVD recording, the first AV receiver with Dolby Digital plasma display, with the last 2 years of plasma models being branded as Kuru, loud by their outstanding black levels. See, March 2010, Pioneer stopped producing televisions as announced on 12 February 2009. So they were done with televisions. Let's see, September 2014, Pioneer agreed to settle Pioneer Home Electronics Home AV sell. Pioneer agreed to sell Pioneer Home Electronics Home AV to Onakoyo. I remember them, yeah. And in March 2015, Pioneer sold its DJ equipment business division to KKR, which resulted in the establishment of Pioneer DJ. Okay, as a separate entity, independent of Pioneer, in January 2021, Vox International announced that it has finalized license agreement with Pioneer and Pioneer Elite brands for all markets except China as part of the acquisition of Onakoyo. I had seen some of that equipment, the Onakoyo, but if we run down here, let's see. March 2019, Pioneer delists from the Tokyo Stock Exchange to focus on debt restructuring after the bailout was accepted following the extraordinary shareholders meeting. And that, let's see, they kind of fell by the wayside here in 2018 after Pioneer became heavily indebted following its failed forays into car navigation and audio systems. Baring Private Equity Asia injected the company with 60 billion yen, about 540 million, allowing Pioneer to settle some of their outstanding bank loans. Pioneer, back in, let's see, 2018, yeah, 17, 6, nah, not 6, longer, back further than that. I was messing around with a lot of car stereos, and Pioneer was one of the brands I was picking up quite a few of. I was buying pallet loads of returns on car stereos when everybody had to have the big thumper in their car. And I was buying a lot of pallets of returns from Best Buy and places like that, and going over the stuff. I'd get a lot of speakers in, Infinity speaker systems in, and you'd go through them, and if you had the same sets, you could go through them and put good sets together. And I was selling them on eBay, and I was doing quite well doing that. And car stereos, a lot of the car stereos I would get, I could test them, and most of them worked, which a lot of that stuff does. It's just people didn't like it. It didn't sound good to them because they had crappy speakers in their car. And a lot of car amplifiers. I rebuilt quite a few car amplifiers and sold those too. Infinity, Kenwood. There was a couple other ones. Alpine. A lot of Alpine stuff. Man, like I said, that was the time when everybody had to have the big thumper system in their car and lots of sound. But okay, that's beside the point. So we have this little Pioneer. I picked this up at the auction. You may have seen the video on this one already of me getting it at the auction. I don't know if I mentioned in the video, but I paid $47.50 for this one, which was probably a little too much. Usually that's too much for me, but I like these Pioneers. They're usually a pretty good brand if you can get them going and everything works out on them okay. This one looked good. The needle's still on it, and the direct drive, so we don't have to worry about a belt. It's just a matter of it's probably gummed up inside, and you know what that means. That means we get to have a Pioneer turntable teardown. We're going to tear its butt off, and we're going to clean it and get everything moving like it should, and then we will plug it in and test it. So without further ado, I will get you set up in the stand and we will tear its bottom off. Alright, first things first, we will take our adapter out, take our platter mat off, and we will pull off our platter so it's not rattling around and hitting our tone arm when we flip it over. Yep, tone arm's locked down. Make sure that's locked down. Alright, looks like we got one foot missing. I don't know, they all look pretty rough. I have to see what I have. Put one on it, or even if I have two the same. Oh, no. We can put two of the same on either the front or the back, and hopefully we can get it leveled out. course, this is one of those ones where the screws must be more aluminum than anything, because my magnetic screwdriver won't even pick them up. Okay, there. Anything back there? Nope. Okay. Ooh, isn't that nice? You know, kind of fun looking stuff in this one. There's part of our direct drive there. Which all feels pretty free, but yeah, grease is funky. It's not real stiff. It is, but it is a little goofy. Let's see. If I take that up out of there, I wonder. Okay. Nothing went flying. I'd like to. No, there's too many things hooked to the bottom of this plate in order for me to take it all the way up off of there so we could get at everything. And I'm afraid if we pull that up, that plate up, we're gonna have stuff flying everywhere. Or does the whole, could be that the whole mech would come up out of there, but we're not gonna take a chance on that. We're just gonna take and clean everywhere we see that there's grease, and we will reapply some new grease. And hopefully, I don't see why I wouldn't. Okay. I'm going to start applying some grease where I have already taken it off, so I remember where to put it. You see the black, and I need to change my stick. Need to change my stick. And grease that where we took the grease off of it. Grease that little pin. Now, yummy. Yeah. Now we'll re-grease it. Most of these turntables aren't hard to do. If you're not, like I said before, if you're not as scared to tear something down, you know, most of these nothing's gonna jump out and bite you. Just take it apart, take the bottom off of it, and you can pretty much see what's going on. And just like I said, you just clean, try and get some of the old grease off of it, and you can tell where, you know, things rub or things mesh, things slide. Wherever you see where something slides, turns, moves, and you can get some grease on it, just go ahead and grease it. And you'll be in good shape. Especially you get the old grease, some of the old grease off of it, even if when you put new grease on the old grease. Most of the time the new grease will work right into the old grease and start loosening it up. Said I'm not gonna, no way in heck am I going to take that plate off, because I can look under there and I can see springs and levers and everything connected to it. So I'm not going there. All I'm doing is looking to see if I see anything else that moves and we can get some grease on it. But no, that looks pretty good. Let me peek under here. Yeah, there's a big, should be the motor gear under there. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just whatever you see moves, and if it's got grease on it, clean as much of the old grease off of it and reapply some new grease, and she'll loosen up. Alright, cords, everything looks good there. Let's see, should be our power, eject. I think that's our eject there. Yeah, that's the eject. There, here's our on and off. Ooh, what is that? Stiff. Let's put a little new Wiener slide on it here. That's better. Okay, no fuse, a little power supply. We got our 110 coming in here, 10 volts. Our little transformer. Transformer should change it over to 12 volt and run over here to a little power supply that regulates and sets our voltages and filters. And then we have our little our PNP PWM right here, little board. Alright, so we're ready to put the bottom back on it and flip it and get it hooked up and see if it's gonna work for us. No shit. Alright. Stupid screws are holding everything up. Yeah, that's 2 on the floor. Yeah, just as I thought. These are not magnetic. Whatever metal they're using. Either good quality stainless or a lot of aluminum in it. Okay. Now, let's get this rat's nest untangled. Plug that in there. Even the platter mats branded Pioneer. Okay, plug our turntable in. Okay, that's 45 and that's 33. I have some funky record here, that album that I got in a box, and I don't even know who they are. They're called Splash or Slash. Looks like a slash. You don't think that? No, that can't be. So I listened to a little bit of it, and it sure to hell wasn't slash. Let's see, I think... Yeah, what the hell. Let's see what it does. I was looking at this slash. That's the name of the record company. The group is a Violent Femmes. Never heard of them. Sound like a garage band that should have been left in the garage, if you ask me. But you know, this is not my type of music. But you know, what the hell. All right, now let's try our cue. Lift our arm. Lift our arm. Not the wrong one. Okay, now we should just be able to slide it over. Yep, turns on. And get it lined up where we like it. And it works. I'm not going to subject you to that. Now, some of you out there might know this band, the Violent, F-E-M-M-E-S, the Femmes, like the feminines. Don't like it. Good test record though. Alright, so everything, that tests out pretty good. I think we will see how much weight is being applied to our needle. Now, all of these I have looked up. Have been like 1.8 to 2.2. Be 1.8 to 1.2. This is a 5 gram. It's full. We need to clear. Okay. Got it zeroed. There should be, yep, right at 5. Let me see, our little weight's 5. And what we want to do is set that little black dot in the center there. Ah, shit. Got that. Forgot about that. Let me set you up here for a sec. Let me unplug it. I don't feel like chasing it around. Okay, we're still centered. I unplugged it. What we want to do is we want to set the needle right in that black spot. and we are at 1.17. Let me turn the stereo off because it's still picking that up. So we need just a little bit of weight. Does this one just move? Or does it? Lock him down for a sec. How's our weight move on this one? Looks like there's a little Phillips. Oh, yep, smacked the camera. Let me get a smaller Phillips. Just give it a little turn. Of course, it auto shut off. I turn it about a quarter of a turn in, and we're still at 1.8. Hope you can see what the hell I'm doing. Alright, I'm still at 1.17. I need to move this around and see if I'm actually doing anything. Okay, just to be positive, I went and looked this one up. This one is from 1 to 3 grams as far as our tracking weight. And I adjusted that one in a little bit. I wanted to get it was a little too close to 1. We want just a little bit more, and you can see we're at 1.42, so we're about halfway, and that's about all the further I want to truss that screw in the back. I don't want to strip it out. It was getting pretty stiff going in, just so I could get it, right around 1.5. So we're right at the middle is our tracking weight, which is going to be good. And that needle so far sounds pretty good. I may not have to put a new one on this. When I looked at it earlier, it looked like it was new to begin with. Alright, so I'm going to play some albums or play a album and make sure it's going to track all the way across, and then I'll bring you back and let you know how things are going. This will be a good test. Got some Black Sabbath greatest hits, and if you can see, this album's a little on the rough side. So I'm going to test it with that and see if it'll play through any of that. Alright, it starts and stops and plays just like it should. This was an easy one. We didn't have to do much of anything to this one except a little servicing underneath, and now it is time to get this cleaned up. You can see there's a lot of stuck crud on this one. Finger gunk. Lots of finger gunk on it. We'll get this all cleaned up and it'll be ready. Let's see, I better... let me turn this off. And we'll unplug it. Take our dust cover off. And that's it. That's our Pioneer PL-670 full automatic stereo turntable. All serviced, cleaned, and ready to be enjoyed. This one, let's see, I did notice one thing when I was cleaning it, is under the ladder here, right there, is our adjustments for our speed for our motor. Why they hide them is beyond me, because you have to keep lifting it and turn it a little and then put it all back together and play it, and if it's not right, take it all back apart, turn it up a little bit, turn it down, turn it up, turn it down, whatever. Should have been somewhere that you could, you know, on the side, or hell, even a couple little rubber dookies plug in the holes or something, a little panel that you could open it up, and while it's playing you could adjust it and get it to just right. I don't know, you couldn't, you know, there's no way to time it or anything with the platter on. You can't get to the adjustments. It's just, that's kind of screwed up, unless they figured that nobody'd ever, or they would never go out of adjustment. I don't know. But you can adjust the pitch on it if it is running too fast or too slow. Most of the time it's too slow. This white mark, I think that's glue or something. I could not get that off. So it's on there. It's part of the unit. But she's done. Gives us another good turntable. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I am going to play a record and record it for you. I'll pick out a good one and make a separate video of it, so when it gets hit with copyright claim, it won't be on my main video. Or I may save it and group them all together and just release a whole bunch of them, of all these turntables with different songs being played on each one. We'll see. So I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, see ya.